25-year-old, been married for 5 years. Female talks about having this best friend since childhood. Recently, every time she comes home from work, her best friend is at her house with her husband. She feels very uncomfortable. She says, I don't know where to go from here.
What is wrong with people? The answer is simple.
A 26-year-old, his girlfriend's 28. He discovered she had another guy's name and address on her Amazon account. Is this shady?
If she values this relationship, she should be saying, this is what really happened. But instead, she's not. She's getting defensive. People need to understand if they're not saying something. For some people, they'd rather just not discuss it. That's not the way things work. Hi, everyone. My name is Cassandra, and this is Tasha Taremi. We are coming to you from astrodipity.com, which is an online dating site specifically created to help you meet someone on a deeper level. So in other words, you put in your time of birth, your date of birth, your place of birth. Our algorithm will match you according to someone who is quite like you. In other words, your zodiac placements will match with theirs. So if you don't know anything about astrology or anything like that, this is your time and your chance to get to know it, because there is a lot to you and your character. There's your sun sign, which is your star sign, your rising, which is your ascendant, your moon sign, your Mars sign, your Venus sign, your Jupiter, etc. All of these placements play a role in matching with someone and being compatible with them. So all of this is important, and this is why we're here with you now. We want to talk to you about astrology and dating, and every week we're going to chat about, emails, if you need advice about relationships, and hopefully you check out astrodipity.com, which is now global, as well as we are in India now. And there's a lot more to share with you every week, but we also hope that if there's anything you want to know about astrology-wise, or your tarot cards, or about relationships, or something you're going through, that you'll also reach out to us at astrodivas at astrodipity.com anytime you want. And we'll either have you as a guest on our podcast, or we'll read your email and give you some advice while we're at it. So on that note, today we're going to start off talking about what's going on in Libra season. We are in Libra season, and there's a lot to tell you. So we're going to start off with the projections, then we're going to get into our emails, and then we're going to talk more about the eclipse, as well as why you should join Astrodipity. So,
all right. So I'm going to start with the fire element, which is Aries, Leo, Sag, what they can expect during Libra season. So the focus is cooperation and relationships. The projection for the fire signs, they may feel the need to tone down their natural impulsivity during this time. The Libra influence encourages a softer approach, making this an ideal period to work on relationships, especially if conflicts or misunderstandings have surfaced. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius could find themselves striving for more balance. Not just in personal connections, but also in their passions and goals. The energy of Libra helps these signs to consider the perspectives of others and collaborate more effectively. So, the fire sign, they're go-getters. They like to be in control. They like to lead. But it sounds like this Libra, with the Libra season coming in, it's guiding them to shift their perspective in more of a collaborative approach with people instead of being in control. That's what it means to me.
Yeah, so it's going to be an intense week, obviously, next week. Yeah.
That's painful for someone that's used to being in the lead, but that's what's here. So, with the earth signs, which is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, the focus is security and stability and partnerships. The projection is the second week of Libra season brings in stabilizing yet reflective period for earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. They may be drawn toward solidifying relationships, both personal and professional. While they usually prefer grounding energies, Libra season encourages these signs to prioritize harmony and compromise. It's a good time to reevaluate long-term commitments and ensure that partnerships are mutually beneficial. Be open to softer, more diplomatic approaches rather than rigid structures. Going with the flow, earth signs, going with the flow. That's what I'm getting.
I hope so. I'm all for that.
That's awesome.
now for air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, for what you can expect. So your focus is social connections and intellectual balance. So the projections for next week is this is an empowering period for air signs, especially Libra, as they thrive under the influence of their own sign. So the energy is light, social, and communicative, perfect for building bridges, mending relationships, and engaging in meaningful connections. For Gemini and Aquarius, this week will feel like a breath of fresh air, offering clarity and decision-making and fostering a sense of equilibrium in their relationships. It's time for intellectual exploration and finding peace in their social lives. Truth be told, very important for all of you air signs. For the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, your focus needs to be emotional balance and relationship dynamics, because your projections for next week is all about finding emotional equilibrium. So Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces may feel a push to resolve ongoing emotional issues and create harmony in their personal lives. Libra's energy will help these signs communicate their feelings more diplomatically, making it a good time to have more important discussions about relationships in particular. This is also a time for balance with your emotional intuition, with logical reasoning, helping you navigate through any emotional turbulence. So anything you're going through, it's a good time for this. That's about it as far as the projections. I just want to get into the fact that we are going to be having an eclipse on October 2nd, which is a big deal. It's actually part of a significant astrological event. It happens once a year. So it's happening in Libra. It occurs when the moon is too far from the earth and is completely covering the sun, resulting in a ring of fire appearance. So there's a lot to this. So specifically, zodiac sign for Libra, the eclipse occurs at 10 degrees of Libra, a sign known for its focus on relationships, balance, harmony, justice, fairness, etc. The energy of Libra is all about creating equilibrium, especially in partnerships and collaborations. So as you know, that eclipses are all about new beginnings, powerful new beginnings, transitions, etc. The sun and the moon will align in Libra, pushing for a reset in all areas of your life. So your relationships, your social relationships, it will likely highlight the need for fairness and bring unbalanced dynamics to light. So everything's going to come to light with this eclipse happening. You should expect things around commitment, negotiation, compromise, and justice to come to the forefront. For fire signs, like as I said before, you need to focus on everything that Tasha just said. There's an impact on relationships, resetting relationship dynamics, self-harmony. There's, on a collective level, Libra's influence could bring focus to justice related issues. So about fairness and things like that, it's going to bring all of that to a head. On another note, we have quite a few dating related emails to talk about today. So why don't we go ahead and start with that for now?
The first email is about a masculine energy. He's 35 years old, and he is married to a 33-year-old female. They've been married for 7 years. He works full-time, and he also occasionally works part-time with his brother who flips homes. So he takes on a side job. He's very conscientious about finances and resources. And so his wife, who's 33, works part-time. And so they had agreed that she would take care of the bills, the financial aspect, since she has more time. Recently, he has made a decision to work on long-term financial goals and had gone into the bank account while he's going through this process of making a plan for the future. What he discovered is over the course of the last 6 months, his wife has been withdrawing money consistently. He doesn't know what the money's for. there is no evidence of where the money is going. In other words, there is no new purchases. So he questioned his wife and asked what's going on with the money. She got very defensive. She questioned him about his trust for her, but still avoided answering the question. So he's at a loss to where the money is going, and he doesn't know how to obtain the information because she's not being forthcoming with that information. He doesn't know what to do.
Wow, it's a tough one, eh? Because this happens to a lot of people, and money's always an issue in relationships as it is. Some people choose to discuss it and, ask questions. Other people avoid it. It depends where you are in that situation. I know for me, any decisions when it comes to purchasing anything, I think you should be discussing this with your partner. I know a lot of people aren't like that, though. I know, I have several friends that would not agree with this. So, first of all, what are your thoughts?
Well, so for the simple fact, this man is working full-time and then some. She's only working part-time. And I do agree. When you come into a union, there should be complete transparency. It's not, this is mine and that is yours. I do agree with that. But when she's questioning about trust, where is the trust when she's not willing to be transparent? So there's an issue because that would indicate there's something that's being hidden. So that goes directly against the concept of trust. So I would say that he needs to have a heart-to-heart conversation with her. And if she refuses to continue to give him the clarity that he's looking for, then this might be a deal breaker for this relationship. Because if she's lying about that, what else is she lying about? What else is she doing?
I know that, a long time ago, this goes back years, that I was all about, there's several different opinions. I was all about having, a joint account and things like that when you're married or in a relationship or even dating someone. Now I understand, it's important to have your money, and then there's your money together as a couple. In this case, I think I'm so by the book on this. When you're with someone, just like a business partnership, I think you really, really should be transparent and open about what you're doing with the money. And I think if she's going into the account and never, ever, ever telling him what's going on, and when he asks, she's defensive and she's, what, you don't trust me? I'd be so put off by that. And just for that in itself, I wouldn't trust you at all.
Right.
Like zero, like you're out. I don't trust you. For you to get defensive, why are you getting defensive when I'm the one who's just looking for answers? And
right.
You don't want to give me those answers? I don't.
It would be different if it was like, if she was planning, say, a secret cruise for him. So she's been taking money out because she wants to surprise him with a romantic trip, a cruise. If he questioned her, the normal response would be, "Oh, honey, it's a surprise. I don't want to tell you because it's a surprise." But for the simple fact that she was on the defense, on the attack mode, how could you? I dare you ask me that, you don't trust me, but then not being forthcoming with any information at all is an admission of guilt. I'm sorry, but that's guilt. So they need to have a real heart-to-heart conversation, and she needs to understand the implications of this type of behavior and that it could possibly lead to the end of the marriage because the trust is broken.
Not only that, he took an extra job. So if you are considerate and you're thinking about the other person, if that person's important to you and you respect them, I think you would automatically not be defensive. And if it's nothing, then you have no problem saying, "Hey, this is why," right? It's only when there's something that you're not being truthful about, or the very fact you don't want someone to know what you're doing and you get defensive, that's the biggest red flag there is. That means that person's not a trustworthy person in the first place.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
that's our advice. Have the heart-to-heart conversation and lay it all on the line. If she's
Yeah.
still not being transparent, then you need to listen to your gut and do what you need to do.
Right.
Separate, divorce, whatever.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
respect comes into this as well. And
Yes.
there's a lack of respect for you as a person. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So the second email we have, all right. This is about a 25-year-old female. She is been married to a 27-year-old male for 5 years. Now, this 25-year-old female talks about having this best friend since childhood. She's been very close with this female friend. They do everything together. They have an amazing bond. And she recently has noticed every time she comes home from work, her best friend is at her house with her husband, either hanging out on the deck, having a beer, watching a program. Now, her husband has only known her best friend for 5 years in the time that they've been together, married. He did not have a relationship like she did since childhood. She feels very uncomfortable about this situation because she's asked her husband what's going on. And when she asked him what's going on, he flips it on her and says, "You're being sensitive and you're acting insecure." So he's made her feel as though she cannot broach the subject because he makes her feel bad about questioning, why is my best friend always at my house when I'm not home with my husband? She says, "I need help. I don't know where to go from here."
Can I just say, what is wrong with people? No, what is wrong with people? The answer is simple. I'm just I'm really, my Virgo is coming out crazy lately. Um, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I have friends and we can hang out together and everything." First of all, I said this in a previous podcast that if you, you have to be really careful with social media, but this isn't about social media. You have to be careful with social media, the opposite sex when you're in a relationship could be the same sex, dependent on, you know, what's going on in your life. But these kind of situations, you're asking for problems. Like you're putting yourself in a position, you're putting your relationship on the line. If you're okay with having your best friend hang out with your husband in the first place, like what is that? Why would he want to hang out with your best friend? Like there's obviously some kind of emotional something there between them in the first place. And to me, that's just unacceptable. I really believe that it should be you and your partner. You guys are the best friends. It doesn't matter what gender you are, but you guys are the best friends. You guys are the partners. You guys are the ones you should be sharing everything with. You shouldn't be sharing with everybody else, whether it's on social media, whether it's, because my partner has gone to work and hey, come on over. I think you're setting yourself up for something to happen. And I don't think that kind of trust should be just given out randomly. I think trust is a precious, precious thing. And when you give someone your trust, it's because you're trusting them with the very part of you that you don't give away so easily.
Right. And for the simple fact that he tries to flip it on her, to me, that's
a red flag.
It's a cover up. It's a cover up. It's like trying to project onto her when he knows it's not right.
What happened to everybody caring about the way the other person feels, putting yourself in the other person's shoes? Right. I mean, how would you feel? So let's flip the roles. If it wasn't her best friend and it was his best friend,
right,
hanging out with her, right? Like, how would he feel? He wouldn't accept it. A man, a guy today would be, well, there's something wrong with that. And to me, there is something wrong. Even if nothing has happened as of this point, something will. there's something there between you guys. You guys clearly enjoy hanging out together. It's one thing if you're in a social setting, but if you're privately getting together when somebody's out working their butt off for your relationship, how does that work? It's wrong.
What I would say to her is she needs to cut her losses with both the friend and the husband, and she needs to keep it moving. He has disrespected her in a way on multiple levels that you can't come back from as far as I'm concerned.
By the way, I would never, I don't even want friends like that. Do you know what I mean? I think because we're experienced in all of these things, we understand what sets you up to be hurt in the future. Don't put yourself in a position to have something go wrong in the first place. Cherish your relationship. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to cherish it. You're supposed to treat it like it's, special. If this was your children and your children came home and told you this story, what advice would you give to them? Certainly, right. There's something going on or there's something to worry about. You're worried for a reason.
I think he just enjoys the attention. I feel like he's trying to seek validation.
Yeah, the attention of many, not of one.
He's not putting the relationship first, and he's definitely not respecting how she feels. So
he's not even considering how she feels.
No.
Forget the respect. Yeah, no, it sounds like player vibes to me.
Me too. So the third story, the third email we have here, this is a 30-year-old female and her 36-year-old husband. Okay. So recently, she's always been active in the gym. Her health and fitness has always been a priority for her. Recently, though, her husband started going to the same gym and decided that he would pay a personal trainer because he wanted to get in shape. Of course, she supported that. She supports physical fitness. The problem is, she starts out by saying the personal trainer that he hired at the gym is beautiful and in perfect shape. So she's not going to lie. She says it did kind of make her feel a little insecure. But that wasn't the biggest issue. The first time she was able to witness their sessions together, she was working out at the same time that the personal trainer and her husband had a session. What she noticed is there was a lot of banter back and forth that felt more like flirting than a professional relationship. This made her feel very uncomfortable because she felt like this was less about business and more about relationship. So she doesn't know what to do in this situation because she feels like she's the one that encouraged him to go to the gym to become physically fit for himself. And so she said she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't want to be hypocritical, but then again, she feels uncomfortable. So she's asking for advice.
It's a hard one, eh? Because it would make anybody insecure. We all have little worries. I mean, we are human, right? It is human nature to be worried. Even if you trust them completely, it's human nature, especially when you see someone, oh my God, they're beautiful. And hopefully they're not bantering, because I have an issue with bantering. And I have heard some stories from other relationship coaches that think, bantering is healthy with other people and everything. But there's a fine line there, because if it's with another person, you risk potentially having something happen or people. But I guess in a healthy relationship, my suggestion would be, it's unfortunate, but you'd almost have to monitor it, but you shouldn't have to.
Right.
Bantering is flirting. However, I think as a human race, we all do it a little bit. We all do flirt a little bit. It helps our egos and things like that, but it could be very, very hurtful to the other person who's watching. Does she have anything to be worried about? Only her having that discussion with him can make her feel secure and that everything's okay. And
well, here's the way I look at it.
Maybe we should tell her to go to the gym too.
What she does go to the gym. That
Oh,
she was
okay.
going first. She was going first.
Right.
But what I would say to her is she needs to have an open conversation and say, look, I did encourage you. I want you to feel good about yourself. And if that means going to the gym, I encourage you to do that because I believe in health and fitness.
Right.
The problem I have is when I witnessed your interaction with your personal trainer, it looked less like personal training and more like flirting. This made me feel very uncomfortable. And I think she needs to have a heart-to-heart conversation because when somebody is if he's willing to put their relationship first and knowing this is a concern for her, he would say, oh my goodness, I don't want you to feel that way. This is your relationship. Our relationship is a top priority. I'm willing to fire that trainer and get a different trainer because I'm not willing to jeopardize this relationship. On the flip side, if he gets defensive and tries to project it on her, sorry, I'm out. It was good knowing you. Bye-bye.
You're right. Hands down, you are right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? If I would hope that the person I'm in a partnership with would make that decision after having a deep conversation to, okay, I'll get a different trainer. It's simple as that. If it's making you that worried. Yeah, honestly, that should be the natural decision. It's just not though, because as a human race, we all do flirt a bit and things like that. And these issues come up, but you're absolutely right. That should be the answer, period.
Right. Yep.
Totally right.
All right. The next one too.
Yeah. Okay. So my name is Debbie. My best friend is 29. He has been staying at my house for multiple days, and I would like him to leave, but politely have him leave. So we've been dating, even though he's my best friend, we've been dating for 8 months, at least half of which is long distance. He just came back from a 3-month vacation to his home country. He moved out of the rented place before his vacation and left some of his belongings at my house. The previous room he was staying in was furnished. When he went for vacation, he told me he will be moving into a room with a roommate once he is back. He's been back for 5 days now, but no talk of moving. We never spoke about us moving in together. He's been eating my food, using my body wash, and kind of made himself comfortable. I asked him if he was hoping to live together, and if so, it's something we can discuss. He looked upset and said he needs to buy a bed to move into his new room. I don't know if I did anything wrong and hurt him, and I don't know if I'm a mean person. I'm worried about people using me. What do you think?
That's what it feels like. It sounds like somebody that's going on a 3-month vacation but doesn't have their ducks in the row for when they return, and then wants to dump their responsibilities on their partner, the person they're dating, without any discussion of making it official that, an agreement that they would live together. It feels like his priorities are messed up. That's what it feels like. He is using her. That's what it feels like.
It's as simple as that. I agree. He's using her. I mean, for 5 days, he's been back, no discussion, no anything. And when she brings it up, well, I have to buy a bed for my apartment before I move in. How do you just do that? Yeah, that's using.
Yeah, it's just very immature, and his priorities are not in order.
Right.
They're just not.
So we suggest you move on.
Yes.
And ask him to leave. My girlfriend's name is Sarah. She's 23 years old. My name is Jim. My girlfriend made fun of my orgasm. How can I get rid of the shame? So we had sex twice and then started joking around with each other in bed afterwards. Funny accents, imitating each other, etc. For some background, during sex, I had a pretty intense orgasm and I couldn't easily move and also grunted and I couldn't really control it. Then she lay in bed making a weird face and she went stiff and started making weird noises too. I'm probably sensitive about this, but I immediately felt a wave of shame. I told her I told her and she apologized and said it was just a joke and that it's hot when I do that. And I totally forgive her. The problem is I can't get rid of the shame because now I can only associate my most vulnerable moment with her imitation of me. Has anyone ever dealt with anything like this before? This is from Jim.
So, you know what? I would say if they weren't already joking in bed and, acting silly and things like that, I would say that he would have something to be concerned about. I don't feel like she meant it to attack him or to make fun of him. And I feel like this is something that he's just going to have to let go of. If he's being intimate with someone, then he's allowing himself to be vulnerable. Then he needs to just let it go. He needs to say, this person accepts me, or maybe she doesn't. And if he finds she doesn't accept him, then he needs to move on to a new relationship. I don't get that she was trying to really hurt him. I get that she was trying to play.
Yeah. I think it was very playful too. He shouldn't feel ashamed whatsoever. He's only 21 years old. So, I mean, he's a newbie in this. She's 23. So I think she was definitely playing with him and she was trying to make him feel more comfortable by imitating him and doing the same thing and getting all stiff. And to me, it looks like she really, really cares about him, if anything. I see it as a total positive, and he shouldn't be ashamed. And they're having new experiences together, and she's trying to make him feel comfortable by imitating him. For some people, that might be, a little weird, but in this case, it's not.
A 26-year-old male, his girlfriend's 28, and he discovered she had another guy's name and address on her Amazon account. Is this shady? So he goes on to say that he's been dating his girlfriend for 11 months, and one night she texted him a picture of her Amazon checkout card to show a book she was buying, and it was her account with a delivery address to another man's location. She deleted the picture within a minute of sending, but I had already saw it. I had called her and respectfully asked for the truth and said, I'm not angry, but I just want to understand. I was told that she deleted the picture right away because she knew what my reaction would be. She was super short and deflective, saying this man was just a friend, and said it feels like I'm interrogating her. She then told me that I'm just someone who prefers over communication and is too detail oriented. I'm thinking about breaking up with her over this as she continues to double down and deflect. Okay, so I agree with him. I think she's not being transparent. Now, if this is an old, say she had a relationship in the past and she purchased something for someone and mailed it to their home, then she needs to be upfront and say, look, this was someone that I was dating in the past. I purchased something as a gift and sent it to them, and that's why the address is in there, and I just had forgotten to delete it. By her being defensive, it would indicate that she is still having a connection with someone, and she doesn't feel like she needs to answer for that or speak about it. I myself have had another person's address because I gave to a friend. I wanted to buy a gift for a friend, a spiritual book, and I wanted to mail it to this friend. And that's why their address is in my Amazon account. And I would not hesitate to say, this is what I purchased and this is why it's there. Me wanting to give to a friend. But I would be transparent. This is somebody that is hiding something. So I totally get his desire to disconnect because he doesn't feel like she's being honest, and without trust, you don't have a relationship at all.
Exactly. Without trust, you don't have a relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I realized? All these emails that we get and things like that, they really are trust-based. When it comes down to it, trust is one of the most important parts to a relationship. And that goes for friendships, business, romantic relationships. And the sad part is a lot of us have gone through something in our lives. It could come from our parents, it could come from anyone, that have not have been incidents where people have not been transparent. And we've seen this and we've learned this. So our gut reaction is automatically to not trust it and to go there in our heads. Because it happens all the time. People do it to one another all the time. And we forget that, without kindness, compassion, considering the other person's feelings and thoughts, how would it make you feel if it happened to you?
Right.
And that's the big thing. If we can get used to, thinking about how other people would feel if it happened to them, maybe that would teach us to be more aware of how we handle things. Because if she values this relationship whatsoever, she should be saying, this is what really happened. Let me tell you the backstory, because there's a backstory to this. But instead, she's not. She's getting defensive, just like you said, which is the typical reaction. That's how people react for some reason to a normal question that could resolve everything and make a person feel secure. But instead, you do the opposite. Well, that's the reason for walk away. Walk away. I mean,
what do they say? Trust takes years to establish and can be lost in a second.
You know what? The thing that I follow and swear by, this is a rule of thumb for me, is that relationships don't happen. They are built. A house doesn't fall on your lap. You have to build it. A partnership doesn't fall on your lap. You have to build it. It's those things, those very things, when someone gets insecure, because we're all going to have them. Every new relationship you come into, you're going to have little thoughts or little, questions in your mind because of past relationships, or even if you've never had a relationship and it's your first, you're new to this. You're learning as you go, but you really, really have to understand that in order to build anything, you have to be transparent and you have to be willing to respond to someone's insecurity, what you call an insecurity or someone else might call an insecurity. It could just be a simple question. I've had this happen to me in the past where I was told, someone told me, oh, you don't really want me to do something. And I'd sit there and say, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? I never said anything like this, because they're assuming. So once again, rather than assume he's just grilling her, maybe consider the fact that if you just respond in a nice, normal way and be authentically transparent, like you said, maybe his reaction will be, oh, I get it. Somebody else showed up on your Amazon. I get it. It was nothing more than that. But instead, your reaction, because you didn't like being questioned about it, completely makes everybody else look at this situation as though you've got something to hide.
And I had this exact thing happen with me and Mark. I had a mail in my Amazon with the address. And this was a client, in my career work environment that I wanted to send a gift to. So that's where, and it was sent before Mark. It was sent before Mark, but he saw it. And I said, oh, that's so-and-so. I purchased a book and wanted to send it as a gift to him.
Yeah.
And so that was it. I mean,
because you said something, of course, to him, it was not a big deal. It's
right.
People need to understand it's the not saying something. It's the not talking about it. It's the avoidance of
It's a red flag. That's an admission of guilt. It's an admission of guilt.
Even if you've done nothing. For some people, they honestly haven't done something, but they'd rather just not discuss it because that's who they are. But to everybody else, that's not the way things work.
Well, your stubborn nature will come back to bite you. Your stubborn nature.
Yep, absolutely.
So make sure your priorities in order. Do you prioritize this relationship? Because if you do, it's time to speak up.
Do you know, this is something I've been meaning to say for the longest time. Relationships are actually easy. sorry, they're not easy, but they can be. They can be. We can really make things a lot easier if we allow other people to be who they are and not judge them, but instead, if a trigger comes up for you, or if you're bothered by something, let's say you're insecure about the woman at the gym, if you can openly feel vulnerable enough to bring it up and have that person respect that you're going out of your way to share something that, maybe makes you feel insecure or not quite okay, and you're willing to work with that and come up with a solution to make the person feel better, I think a lot of relationships would go forward and end up healthy, and you can grow together. But I think if you're always on the defense and you don't want to answer, that's a problem right there. And that really, really, truly is a problem. It's a lack of respect. You're not putting the other person as a priority, like you mentioned. And clearly you don't value your relationship enough to answer the question.
Right.
And it shouldn't be a problem to ask questions. It shouldn't be a problem. If you want to ask questions, in fact, that's what you need because you're feeling a certain way about something, that should be okay. And if the other person's making you feel like you're too much, oh my God, this is too much, they have no right to ask me questions. Oh my God. It's the biggest lie in the world. They're lying.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're not aligned with their morals, their values, anything.
And they're lying. Most likely. Most likely.
Definitely.
Because they might not be lying about the act, but they're lying about their feelings towards you in the first place. Because if they valued you, it's all about value at this point. If they valued you and your relationship, they would want to answer and fix it, or want to calm you down or make you feel okay about the situation.
I agree.
They avoid it.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So maybe we can just talk about the eclipse again on October 2nd and all of the things that it's going to bring to us, maybe why you should get on Astrodipity. There's a lot of reasons to get on Astrodipity. Astrodipity is a great, great, great choice during this period for anybody who's single, looking for a new friendship, looking for a new romantic partnership. We can share in this. Going through the points. So Libra's focus on relationships. Don't forget, everybody, Libra is ruled by Venus. So it's all about love. So now being in Libra season, especially during the eclipse, emphasizes relationships, connection, and partnerships. Exactly the areas Astrodipity focuses on. Astrodipity matches people based on astrological compatibility, offering users a deeper connection rooted in the stars, which is so true. With Libra energy encouraging harmony and love, this is an ideal time to meet new people who resonate with your core values and relationship goals. Wouldn't you say?
Yep. I agree with that. I am in agreement. Do you want me to go on with the new beginnings and partnerships? So this is all about why you should choose Astrodipity. So the new beginnings and partnerships, it says solar eclipses bring new beginnings and opportunities for growth. For those looking for fresh romantic starts, the eclipse can help manifest the right kinds of connections. Astrodipity's astrology-driven approach gives people an edge by matching them with those who align on a deeper cosmic level. Astrodipity users can use this time to reevaluate what they want in relationships, and the platform helps guide them towards partners who meet those desires, especially with compatibility insights based on birth charts. So it gives you a better chance to align with the perfect partner because of the astrology-based information that aligns you.
Wow.
Awesome. Yep.
It is awesome, especially during Libra season, because it's all about love right now. So Libra season is all about the balance and fairness, which extends to relationships. So Astrodipity can help users find a partner who complements them, balancing their energies, providing harmony in romantic dynamics. The platform's astrological insights can reveal areas where the user naturally may need to compromise, offering unique relationship guidance during a period that calls for these qualities.
That's pretty awesome. Balance is always good, and Libra is justice in tarot, so it makes sense. It's a balance. So number 4 is that astrological timing matters as it pertains to using Astrodipity as your platform to find your compatible partner. It says astrology believers know that timing is everything, and launching a romantic journey during a significant cosmic event like an eclipse can be transformative. Astrodipity's focus on astrology makes it the perfect tool for finding love at a time when the stars are aligned for new beginnings and personal growth. The eclipse amplifies the energy of connection, making it an auspicious time for singles to explore meaningful relationships through a platform that understands the astrological timing. In other words, it's an amazing time for love, compatibility. As it pertains to Astrodipity, it's a perfect time to find your perfect match. Allow them to align your perfect match for you based on your astrological placements.
It's all about alignment, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. With the heightened energy of the eclipse and Libra season's emphasis on social interaction, Astrodipity allows users to forge deep, meaningful connections that go beyond surface level attraction, which is super important. By understanding each other's zodiac signs and chart placements, users are encouraged to build relationships with a foundation of shared cosmic compatibility. So all about the compatibility of your moon, your Mars, your Venus, your etc. And then we've got personal growth and reflection.
So under the personal growth, this is Astrodipity is not just about finding a partner. It also helps users understand themselves better. With the eclipse pushing for personal recalibration, Astrodipity's astrology tools help users reflect on their own relationship patterns and needs, fostering personal growth that leads to healthier, more balanced relationships. So given the cosmic significance of this period, using Astrodipity during the Libra solar eclipse can help people to find love with a sense of purpose, balance, and harmony. It's the perfect time to align your love life with the stars. I love that.
I love that.
And you know what? A spiritual love is agape love. It's a love that is supernatural. An agape love is just a love that's like no other. And who doesn't love love? Right?
That's beautiful. Who doesn't love love? Just before we go, I was thinking that maybe we could just give people a little of what we used to talk about, and that was manifesting and how to manifest and what to do. And maybe we could just get natural. And because October 2nd is a big day. I can't remember how long it's been, but it's apparently the first time in several years that this is happening for this eclipse. It's a big one. And I know that people are trying to manifest not just love, but better relationships, resolution, because we're in Libra season, of course, just the fact it's all about fairness and compromise and things like that. A lot has happened for a lot of people this year, and some people haven't been able to move forward or get better careers or get their relationship back on track. Maybe we could just give people a few affirmations, what can help everyone to feel better and to use this to their advantage.
So I can tell you for myself, I started listening to subliminal videos. Like it's just a recording you listen to in the background, and they're positive affirmations that are subliminal. So they're in the background that you may not hear with the audible ear, but they're downloading into your subconscious.
Yeah.
Also, money affirmations. Money is attracted to me. All that I desire desires me. I am wealthy. I am abundant. Money is flowing to me effortlessly from multiple forms. I started doing this, and also I started to envision checks coming in the mail. I started saying, I'm receiving a check today in the mail. And I started receiving checks. Honest to God, I started to receive checks. The first check was a refund from an old electric company for my previous address. And then wait a minute. No, that was my second. I got 2 checks from that. My first check was the garbage company. The garbage company sent me a refund of $345.60. Then a few days later, my electric company sent me 2 separate checks as a refund, which totaled over $100. And so I was like, there's something to this. Now, anytime there is a good day to manifest, like an eclipse, that kind of energy, I always recommend writing down what it is you want to call into your reality by way of a thank you letter to the divine. Thank you for XYZ, being very descriptive. Very descriptive. Not thank you for my house. No, thank you for my 3-bedroom brick home with wood floors, with a wood burning fireplace, newly renovated kitchen, fenced in backyard, in-ground pool, whatever you want. Being very, very descriptive, and then giving thanks and gratitude. And I always burn it the night of whatever, alignment is coming in, whether it's a full moon or eclipse, whatever. I always burn it. But you know what? The biggest thing about manifesting is speaking with conviction that you know that it is already on its way to you, and having the belief. Without the belief, then it's not going to come in because your energy is too confusing. You're not sending the certain energy that it is already mine. It is aligning. It belongs to me. It's already on its way. So it's more about your, speaking with the absolute conviction that it is yours and it's already on its way.
And eclipses, because they are really transformative in nature, and whatever happened before the eclipse, well, you can bet your bottom dollar that as of the eclipse, everything is about to change here and forever, whatever it is. You have to be, like Tasha just said, very, very intentional with what you want, very exact. And keep in mind, once again, always to remember that if you want a new job or something to change, a new career, a new home, any of these things, that you have to have some sort of action to put behind it as well, because you can't expect it to fall in your lap without you doing something to start the process moving forward. But you've got a really good opportunity here, because this isn't an eclipse. This is good. It's a good time to be mindful and remind yourself of all the things you can do to make the change. I know we tend to forget. We go back and forth and we say, yeah, this is great. This is a portal or whatever, in the past. And then we forget about all the work we've done. So this is a reminder coming from Tasha and myself that we've got an eclipse coming October 2nd. It's a big day. So start manifesting, start thinking about all these things you want, whether it's romance. If you want to put some work into old relationships or resolve problems, it's a great time to do this. We are in Libra season, so it's all about fairness and just and calm, because we don't like confrontation in Libra season or anything like that. This is a time when you can actually mend fences, make relationships better, etc. And that's about all I have on my end. And so for now, we're just going to say goodbye to you from Astrodipity, and we'll be back next week with your forecasts and some more dating advice and dating tips. And we hope you have a wonderful week. So I'm saying goodbye from me, Cass.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful week ahead.